It's fun and all to just be whacking the marbles out of enemies with bullets and melee attacks, but we know some people, they just want to be flashy, Gamers, they want their spice. They want the spiciness, little juice, gamer juice. So, what better way to do that in a roguelike than with status effects? A little bing bang boom. So, just a little bit more stuff to play with and around. It's like putting whipped cream. It's just you don't want a little too much of it. It's no good. It'll be all you can taste. You can just taste the whipped cream. No more vanilla, no more chocolate. But you want just enough whipped cream, just enough volume. Get it kicking, a little bit. Just a little bit more. So the thing is, the biggest pitfall of status effects is that, when they do too much, and then they make the game overly complex, and that's all you can think about. So we're trying to go for a more, golden mean, moderate approach. So just enough that adds another layer to your deck building and card choice, but not too much that you don't even know what's going on. So after all, we want this to be a card game where you just play by instinct. You don't want to be thinking about it too much. So obviously, the cards that will apply these effects are going to be a little bit harder to come by. They're a little more rare, just to give it a little bit of a semblance of balance. We want that balanced breakfast for our players, not an infinite chocolate fountain, just a good old classic breakfast. So, to keep the food analogy going, we've settled on 3 flavors of effects. At least for now. You got your spicy, you got your minty, you got your shocky. So your classic flame-based attacks, that gives you that spicy flavor, your burning effect. So nothing too complex here. Burning attacks will ignite your enemies, set them ablaze, resulting in a damage over time effect. The duration of this damage over time can be extended by hitting them with another flame attack. So while it is simple, it allows for hit and run play style where you watch your enemies cook. Let them cook. That delicious, yummy spice. So minty flavors, extending that analogy, we got our classic freezing effects. These cards will literally freeze your enemies in place. Most of the time, even delay their attacks. So with enough cards and resource generation, you can keep your enemies stuck in time. That boy, stuck in time. Now, the final spice in this flavor town is the shocking attacks. So these are more for those combo players who are looking to cook up a storm. So applying shock to an enemy causes subsequent attacks on them to do additional damage by releasing these little shocking balls, little electric balls of energy that deal damage to about a quarter of the damage that you just dealt. And since we release about 4 of these balls, you're basically doubling your damage. So you can actually use this to make your super powerful but expensive and slow card deal more damage that spreads around, because even other enemies can take damage from these balls. So it does take a bit of time to set up, and the time window where an enemy is shocked is pretty slim. You will be rewarded for your efforts. Of course, it'd be no fun if the player had all the ingredients to themselves, so we let the enemies cook as well. Random elites could have their attacks buffed with a similar effect. The player can be burned, frozen, or shocked. Now, burn and shock act about the same as with the enemy's code, so causing a damage over time effect or increased damage received. But to ensure that freeze didn't feel too bad, we made it so that instead of being frozen solid, the player instead just has a movement speed debuff. Otherwise, it'd be really frustrating because you would just get frozen. However, we're not done yet. No, sir. We've also added other card upgrades. So these can be added to any card, right? Any card you want, anything. So these can add a layer of complexity that can probably make or break your run. So like the 3 spices, we have 3 possible card upgrades with possibly more to come. And these upgrades can be found randomly already applied to cards when you draft them, so it's like an RNG chance to get them on the card. Or can be more reliably added to any card in your deck as a room reward. If you happen across the room reward, that is. It's a pretty low chance as well. So if it wasn't obvious, this is inspired by Inscription, which had a similar mechanic where you could just add modifiers to your cards and alter how they work aside from their regular effects. So this is a lot like that. So the 3 modifiers we have so far are Pinned, Backup, and Corrupted. So a pinned card will always appear in your starting hand. This allows you to have instant access to the cards that help you set up your combo or even your build. Pretty simple, but can essentially make the start of each floor a lot more consistent. Backup makes your card create a proxy copy of itself after being used. The proxy copy does not go into your graveyard and is deleted on use. However, the original card will always have this effect of making a copy and will remain in your deck. So this essentially lets you play the card twice every time it comes up. And there are some really broken combos when we were playing this out. And we're gonna let you guys, figure it out. Maybe you'll see it. Now, the final card modifier is Corrupted. It's the only one that is sort of a risk-reward of 3. A corrupted card will make the card cost nothing to play, essentially letting you play a card for free. However, doing so will discard the rest of your hand. So you'd think this would be punishing, but sometimes it's worth losing all that gas, discarding all your cards just to play one free card. Or perhaps you made a build that actually wants you to discard your entire hand. And you know what? There you have it. We have added more effects to the cards to make them a lot more interesting to play with. We added this little layer of complexity with really simple to understand card modifiers that, once you get it, you're just playing it. You already know what they do. In fact, we have these visual indicators. See right there. Boom, boom, boom. Stack it on. Yes, you can stack the effects. You can have a card that's been backed up and corrupted all at once. It's crazy. So, all this stuff can make your average run into a stellar one. And we hope you enjoyed this video. We know it's been a while since our last one. If you enjoyed this, you want to see more devlogs, hit that subscribe button, or even give this video a like. And let us know in the comments what you think. If you have any other crazy ideas, hopefully we can pump out another video sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching.